morning, Tobago. Good morning to the world, wherever you are. Welcome to Rise and Shine. It's the 1st of December. By now, I should get my daisy, right? But them fellas had. Up to now, I can't get a daisy, boy, to feel the spirit and to bring the spirit to you, the spirit of Christmas. All right, so it's just 25 days away, yeah? All right, but anyway, you're up, you're alive. Don't take that for granted. Give God thanks for life. And, of course, show the children love. Everything would be all right after that. All right, quickly, and let me get straight into this. There is overcrowding. I was reliably informed that the hospital at Signal Hill is overwhelmed. They are short-staffed, and a number of positive cases has to be mixed with the regular people who go there for other treatments and so on at the tents outside there in Signal Hill at the hospital there. So there needs to be an intervention by somebody in authority to equip that space with the right staff. Of course, the nurses are overwhelmed, they are overworked and understaffed. So urgent intervention, maybe Tracy Davidson Celestine or whoever is responsible, maybe the board needs to attend to this. And I'm asking myself, didn't we designate, or there wasn't that Scarborough or the old fort there was the space for COVID patients? And the numbers are stacking up. Yesterday we saw, and I have to ask, excuse me, who in their right mind could get me to come out to protest, regardless of what the protest is, in numbers? And I'm looking on and I'm saying, wow, we still do not understand the danger of this evil stalker that will take your life if you're foolish and irresponsible, as far as I'm concerned. And we're hearing the hate, obviously, the hate against the Prime Minister, and the kind of derogatory remarks have been made by people who were there and so on. But anyway, at the end of the day, you got to secure yourself and ensure that you protect your family from this virus who will take your life. So somebody needs to investigate what's happening there at the Signal Hill Hospital and so on. Anyway, all right, so there's a lot. We have a packed morning this morning. Let's get straight to it. This morning we'll speak to Youth Vote Matters, and we will speak with some young people. I don't know, my voice is just cracking up this morning. Mr. Niall George from the PDP, and of course he is the representative of Plymouth BlackRock. And then we'll speak with the sitting chief secretary. He has a few more days in office, Ansel Dennis, and he's the candidate for Buku Mount Pleasant. Later on, we'll speak to the nurse, and we are dealing with Miss Sandy, or Nurse Sandy rather, and we'll acknowledge and speak about HIV and AIDS. Today is World AIDS Day, and remember when that was a pandemic? Yeah, was it an epidemic? Yeah, I think it reached. I wasn't here when I understand that they had a bit, promotion about keeping safe from this disease. Now it's a chronic ailment, and that's the power of science, and it has brought it to that. Remember, it was a death sentence. When last you hear anybody die from AIDS? Because science has intervened, and it's a chronic ailment now. And so eventually, all we have to do is survive COVID-19. Science will not sleep and allow us to die as a result of COVID-19. We are going to get to the place where it will become a chronic ailment soon. Yeah? Just believe in the science. All right? And of course, God indeed first. Yes. All right, so at this point in time, let's go for morning news. When we come back, lots more.
Former Tobago Council of the People's National Movement Assemblyman and active member of the party, Shamari Hector, is accusing the party as well as members of the Progressive Democratic Patriots of using witchcraft in the Tobago House of Assembly's December 6 election. In a Facebook Live yesterday, he said the Holy Spirit spoke to him in his bathroom.
Yes, the opposition have been delving into the diabolical, delving into the unknown. But let me give you the firm assurance, there are political agencies within the People's National Movement who hold very high portfolios that doing the same too. I'm telling you.
Hector, who fought and won the Bethel Mount Irvin electoral district for the PNM in 2017, was rejected by the party as a candidate for the December 6 elections. In the Facebook post, he offered a word of prayer for the party and the island.
And I offer on behalf of the People's National Movement and on behalf of the people of Tobago a repentant prayer. God, you said when you were considering Sodom and Gomorrah, you said even if I were to find 5 righteous men, they will be saved. I want to believe today, God, that Tobago have more than 5 righteous men.
Channel 5 News reached out to the PDP and PNM for comment on Hector's claims. However, up to news time, no response was received. The Ministry of Health is actively considering issuing booster shots to fully vaccinated persons. In a press release yesterday, the ministry indicated that they have strategically amassed a stock of 690,625 vaccines, some arriving as recent as last 3 weeks. This in an effort to be proactive and to prepare for the unforeseen nature of COVID-19 and the emergence of variants. Further information on the launch and rollout of the COVID-19 booster program will be made available as the dates are formalized. The Buku Broadwalk, which began in 2015, was commissioned yesterday. At the simple ceremony to mark its completion, the Tobago House of Assembly's Chief Administrator Bernadette Solomon Karoma spoke of the project's challenges.
This project started with the villagers in 2015, and by July 2018, a contract would have been awarded to a contractor to start and complete this project. And this project grinded to a halt due to a number of challenges, funding, and also other issues with the contractor.
Chief Secretary and Area Representative Ansel Dennis also identified some of the challenges.
I remember conducting a site visit at the location, and what I witnessed was really a travesty, in that while we were spending taxpayers' money, we were not necessarily getting value and quality for that money. And action was taken.
The actual cost of the project was not revealed at the commissioning ceremony. For today's weather forecast, early morning showers will give way to mostly fair and windy conditions. There's also a low chance that these showers may become heavy or thundery in some areas. A mostly fair night with a light breeze is expected. Today's temperatures should reach a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius and fall to 24 degrees Celsius.
All right, so at this point in time, let's take in Tobago notes. When we come back, lots more.
Tobago will soon have additional amenities to treat COVID-19 patients who require intensive care. This was revealed at a recent walkthrough of the new intensive care unit facility. It's dedicated to COVID-19 treatment. This ICU facility will increase the number of beds available for ICU patients from 5 to 11. The facility is situated at Fort King George, where caring for COVID patients is more efficient.
The other significant benefit of it is this ICU is on the same compound where we have the other COVID positive patients being treated. So currently, without this, if we have to admit a patient to ICU, we have to arrange transportation from this facility down to the other hospital at Signal Hill. With this facility being operational, we would not have that delay in transfer, which will significantly improve the quality of care that we are able to provide.
The ICU facility will make use of ventilators donated by PAHO, among other equipment. A handful of nurses are also being trained to care for COVID-19 patients at the ICU.
We are focused in the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development and also the Tobago Regional Health Authority on making our health systems as robust as is possible, which would of course redound to saving more lives in Tobago. COVID has been around for some time now, but the challenge is Delta has only crept into our island over the last month or so, and so we have to be prepared, and that is what we are all about, ensuring that we have the equipment, the resources, so that people can have the kind of care that they expect.
The Health Division and the TRHA are working together to provide quality services to treat COVID-19 patients. Still, health officials continue to encourage residents to get vaccinated.
The every opportunity I have, I encourage people to be vaccinated because it's really your only hope. And then there are various options of vaccines available. We know what they are. And so we encourage all those who are 12 and over, and of course the parents, to ensure that they bring out their families to be vaccinated.
The COVID-19 ICU facility is expected to be up and running in December of 2021. It will ensure that services at the Scarborough General Hospital are not compromised. It also means that COVID-19 patients will receive dedicated care.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
All right, welcome back. And we get straight into our guest, Youth Vote Matters. And of course, let's welcome Mr. Fernandez. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you, sir? Good morning. Good morning. Are you hearing me? I need to hear you. Good morning. Apparently he's not seeing me or hearing me. And all right, so we'll speak with Youth Vote Matters in a while as soon as he is...
Miss Fernandez.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So you're Miss Fernandez. Who is this person I'm seeing? Anyway, you're hearing me? Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the importance of youth vote in any election.
Is Miss Fernandez?
Yes.
Yes.
Miss. Okay. All right.
Sarah Fernandez.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about Youth Vote Matters. The importance of it. Why is this organization important for us to understand that their presence does matter? And of course, we get into the issues that you would like to have addressed. Hello? All right, so we are getting a little trouble with that. And that's Miss Fernandez. And of course, we'll speak with Michael. He is also a member.
Well, I think Youth Vote Matters is so important. It's an important platform.
All right, we are having some issues with the internet, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can, or as soon as we are clear on that. All right, and yeah, so this whole question of, and we have to understand youth, and tomorrow is theirs. We are here today. All right, so let's go back to Ms. Fernandez. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, she's not hearing me.
Good morning, you hearing me clearly?
You're right. Now I'm hearing you. Okay, just tell us a little bit about your organization, Youth Vote.
You hearing me clearly?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Just give us an introduction as to your organization.
All right. Sorry
go ahead.
about that.
Go ahead. All right. So we lost you again, and it's so unfortunate.
All right. So this morning, I just want to introduce Youth Votes Matter. This organization is basically a platform.
Go ahead. All right. So it's on her and not ours, and so it's really in and out, and of course. So we have to understand the importance of our youth and what are and the issues that are confronting them. Most of the candidates came in would tell you that the young people, they want jobs. So yesterday we had Zorisha Hackett, and she spoke about those young people, those same young people who want jobs, want an opportunity to, in some cases, explore their own possibilities of having their own businesses. And all they need is the support, all right? So those are issues that, and of course, the sport, drug, and the influence of drugs on young people, the influence of the other influences that may take them away from being productive and so on. A number of our young men are going down the path of crime and other activities that would take away their youth and so on. And we have to understand that, of course, we can't forget 5 of our young men are incarcerated presently in Grenada as a result of making the wrong choice. So youth vote matters, and of course when the youth speak, and really how seriously do we take when they make their make their points or the issues that affect them. Not so long ago, we had a representative from the youth organization, I can't remember what it was, and she was here and she was saying that they don't take our concerns seriously. And how do we get that to be part of how we go forward as a people, right? So at the end of the day, youth vote matters, and young people ought to go out there and exercise your franchise. You're fine, you ain't get certain things done. You need to go out there and put your X by whoever party that you feel would provide your service, the needs that you have. All right, so let's go for the break. When we come back, lots more. See you then.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I place in the center of this meeting tonight the proposed Scarborough Waterfront Development Project, and you can see it on the screen. We have already put aside $60 million for the start of this project. Already we have secured over $37 million through the IADB investment. And so we have been developing the plans, and we have been finalizing the rollout of this plan that will see for the first time a new and improved Scarborough. What does it include? It includes a new boardwalk. It includes a parkade, an upgrade of the Scarborough Esplanade. There is going to be a marketplace. There is going to be a food court. And when I talk about food court, I'm talking about restaurants, I'm talking about bars, I'm talking about cafes, and I'm talking about entertainment spaces. The new Scarborough will be digital. Remember, we are talking about technology and taking Tobago to a new height. And so we will have information booths, and those booths will talk about the history and cultural norms and ways of life of our people. And so the project will be solar powered. Drainage and infrastructural work will be in place. And most importantly, there is a start date, which is January 2022, immediately after the Christmas season has ended. And with that project, we will be able to create more jobs, over 200 jobs. With that project, we will be able to encourage entrepreneurship, because we are talking about restaurants, we are talking about bars. With that project, we can go to them on the international market to say that we are moving Tobago in the right direction. And with the airports completed, with the hotels coming in, we are expecting to see more tourists come into the island as well. And with more tourists, there will be more flights. So the flights that I talk about from the Scandinavian countries and from North America, they will come because Tobago's product is being developed. And this is what our people would want to see. And so this 18-month first phase project will see a Scarborough like we have never seen it before.
Take no chance. Protect your future. On December 6th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
The proceeding was a paid political
All right, so
announcement.
we are going to try again with Youth Vote Matters, and we'll speak with Ms. Fernandez. Good morning again. All right, so we lost her, so I guess we just can't be doing that all morning. All right, so unfortunately, but we'll see what can happen later on. And of course, as I was saying earlier about the youth, we've got to be very mindful. We've got to be attentive. We've got to be sensitive and responsive. All of that just to ensure that our future is secured. Obviously, COVID-19 is one of the evils that is stalking humanity. And it doesn't matter what age you are. If we are not careful, we could use our young people. Let's try one more time. Good morning, Ms. Hernandez of Youth Vote Matters. Good morning again. Good morning. Good morning. All right. It seems that we are not connecting. All right. So we just unfortunate. But anyway, so for the young people, and I'm keeping it in this segment as to have, and maybe to have one or two of you young people respond in the issues that you are confronted with. We know most of our young people come out of secondary school, most of you with your qualifications as far as academic is concerned, want to pursue your masters and your degrees and so on. Some of you have to leave this country. The issue of scholarship, one or two may be lucky, and we have to fight for a national scholarship. There's this issue, why is it that Tobago, and of course when you talk about, and people just get upset with me when we go back to Church Charles, and then so many people went to St. George's from Tobago during that time. In fact, there's a relative of mine who tell me, boy, I don't care, You see what Church Charles do for my daughter? He sent she to university, during his time. Now, we have to ask, and when we had those models working then, why is it we can't go back to it and say, all right, this is a model that worked. Let's go back now and see how best we could occupy or utilize that model, whatever it was. Call him up and say, partner, where did you do? We want to go back to that because most of our children, young people, and so on, they can't afford, the parents can't afford, they have to take out loan for the rest of their life. Do you have any idea about, let's say, a child bright enough that he could make it to and maybe get the call for a top university? Let's say Harvard, for example. There are parents who sacrifice, and even, let me use Harvard. And of course, the money had to be US, right? So, it's 7-1. So in some cases, they sacrifice their meals and different basic things just to ensure that child goes through university, There are parents who almost starve to ensure that their children finish university abroad. So, so when you go back to that model and then you say, Brother Veda's only talk because he like Charles. Hey, I will not brief for nobody. But if something was working, and you have to ask, why it is we like to reinvent the wheel? And why can't we go back to having those same scholarships, whatever it was, to have these children so that the parents don't suffer the burden? Some people, the children have to come back from you. They can't finish because they can't pay. Education is very expensive. So, and again, when you go to the model of what Dr. Vannas James is talking about, where we could export, have we own university here, and bring the faculties, bring the professors, attract them and so on, so that we don't have to leave these shores. Right there in Trinidad, our children have to go down there and stay in campuses that is expensive. In fact, they have to rent it close by and so on, and the safety is compromised as a result of they have to travel back and forth. So we cannot ignore the importance of our youth, our next generation, who would take over. And sometimes I don't like to talk my personal story, but sometimes you have to bring these examples. A little child, let me put it this way. A little child was accompanying his father or grandfather and so on, and the father had, property and so on. A little child asked, grandfather, who's going to take over this? Now, understand what happened to that grandfather or that senior man and thing. Now, the child is seeing that, look, you ain't going to be here forever in her own or his own little intelligence. And they realize, hey, in time to come, it's time to take over. And so we have to understand that life is temporary. Youth is very temporary. So if we don't provide for them, if we don't put the catch nets that are necessary, they're going to embarrass we out there by going to Grenada or other parts and commit crime and so on. Right here, they're going to hurt you because they're going to watch what you have and want it and don't understand the sacrifice and the hard work and the commitment and dedication to making it, quote unquote. So we have a responsibility. So when we hear this term, youth vote matters, when they take the time, in fact, if some of them say, but me, I voted because they don't care what we buy. The other day, I wanted to go around and speak to young people to find out what their hurts are and why is it that they're hurting. And apparently, that didn't take precedent because we feel that we are safe. It's like this disease, And, you have to understand something. If you live in an environment where, and this is why they say, in this gated community, and they have a certain, you can't go in there and you buy property there and so on, you can't go there and build a shack. Because what happens is that those persons who build a shack and you live in your mansion, they go target you, they go break in your house, and they go disregard you because they want to get what you get. So at the end of the day, if we do not put the catch net in place to reach the youth where they are, those who are not academically inclined, those who are academically inclined, how we could accommodate them and put them accordingly. Hello. Hey, we ain't going any place. All right, so at this point in time, let's go for the break, and our PDP candidate should be in, and let's have that conversation afterwards. See you then.
numbers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad. We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own prime minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself. Yes, yes.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement. The following is a paid political announcement.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Watson Duke is breaking the law, and had he been in another country, maybe in jail.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. In another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
And send me back to the polls if I end up with people on my team who want to thief.
A High Court ordered audit of the finances of the Public Services Association has revealed overspending to the tunes of millions of dollars and other practices that are not in keeping with the constitution of the PSA.
You see the THA election coming back up, so we know what's in you going on thief with money again.
I want the listenership to understand something. Only 2 persons sign checks in the PSA. One is the primary signature of the president of the organization, which is Watson Duke.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We had a competition, so we say you can take a tongue, you can use a tongue, it looks totally hot. Take a look at that, real hot by opposed to him.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me. We have a bunch of Tobagonians who are sellouts, who are house slaves. If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Well, more workers have been sent home, but it's coming from the quarter which fights against terminations, dismissals, and the like.
Today, the PSA's executive would have made a decision to send home 20 of its office staff. We will be running a very tight ship, a very hard ship.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We want independence from Trinidad. We must have our own prime minister in Tobago. We want a chief secretary. Stupidness. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. I hate them.
And so let's make some noise and thank our political leader.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
Services include cataract operations with normal and premium lenses, treatment for glaucoma, medical and surgical diabetic eye diseases, including bleeding eye trauma as well as retinal problems, age-related macular degeneration and retinal detachment. Please visit us at the Calder Hall Medical Center, Calder Hall, Tobago.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
right, welcome back, and of course, let me acknowledge our viewers on Facebook. Of course, Mean Jean Salome Julian is celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday to you out there in Maryland and all the other supporters on Facebook. And of course, let's welcome our guest of the PDP. The first time I'm meeting this gentleman, and he is the candidate for Plymouth Blackrock, Mr. Niall George. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Brother B.
Right. The first time I saw the picture, I said, I'm trying to picture who this guy is, right? And then we're here now to find out. So tell us a little bit about Niall George. Who are you, where you're from originally, and so on. I hear you're George, so careful, you know, we might be related. Go ahead.
Well, I'm from Plymouth, born and bred. Mother from Plymouth, father from Speyside, so I have some country roots in me. Most of my schooling was in this general area because my mom worked at Signal Hill Comprehensive, so it was easier for me to go to the Dorothy Moses Nursery School, which is just a stone throw away at Lambeau. Then I went to Signal Hill Primary School, and then I went on to Bishop's High School. After Bishop's High School, I worked at WASA for 11 years. I then went on to study, and recently I was working in the Office of Area Representative Zarisha Hackett because we are a team, and my expertise were needed in her office because of my familiarity with the ground and the people.
Very good. All right, good. So we get a part out of the way now. We're going to breathe and things. So you like to fish. What are the things that you like to do? Because I want to break the tenseness now. Let me get that and thing. What you like to do? What's some of your favorite things to do?
All fours.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you just hang jack and thing?
Sure about that.
Yeah. So Mr. Marker, put one of hang it up fella jack and so on. Right, good. And where's your cry? Where's the awful cry you have? You have an awful cry?
Awful cry?
But you know, the cry is Ray. We killing a man today. He come and don't play. We go bust him the truth today. That's a cry. All right, so let's get to it.
We have many cries.
All right, good. I just wanted to get you to relax and so on. That's my experience, right? All right, so let's get into it. Your area of representation is where?
Plymouth Blackrock.
Where? Well, get the demarcation.
Oh, okay. The demarcation is Plymouth Road, Mary's Hill, a bit of Wim, a bit of Providence Road, back to Union, through Orange Hill Road, Mount Hay, Blackrock, Grafton, Pleasant Prospect, Mount Irving, and Church Street in Bethel.
All right, good. So you're from Plymouth, and let's talk about the issues that Plymouth is confronted with. We know about the jetty and the fishermen there and the woes there, and there are other issues. But tell us what mostly the people in Plymouth are complaining about to you.
Mostly the people in Plymouth are complaining about the jetty that you just spoke about, and the youths, what they consider to be delinquent youths. And I don't look at it that way, because I could use a recent example. They're saying that they're lazy, but currently presented with jobs by people that are campaigning in a high-handed manner, none of them are wrong. They are all on job sites working. So it says to me that it's not that they're lazy, it's about a lack of opportunity.
Very good. You said the other side. Well, let's go there. The high-handed approach, and they are employed, meaning the road paving and so on. So give us your thoughts on what is happening with that employing a number of people, and of course this idea that the THA is hiring too many people. How do you respond to that?
Well, Brother B, as somebody that was working in an area representative's office, I saw some of the pains that the people were feeling firsthand. There were times that we would dip into our pockets to assist people because we saw the need. Now, as the election bell has rung, you're seeing work being done in a manner that I've production at a level that I've never seen in Tobago. And it's amazing that people were suffering. People couldn't get something to eat. And now you're seeing money being bandied around in a manner that is just irresponsible.
Very good. All right. So Plymouth has those issues. The youth need employment. Let's talk about the opportunities that are in Plymouth. And if you ask me, the other day when I went into Plymouth, that historical site of the woman who died and didn't know it, she was a child and pregnant and didn't know it. The name of the site is missing me right now. You wouldn't believe it.
Mystery Tombstone.
Mystery Tombstone. Just talk about any plans in the future as far as your vision is concerned to make that really an attraction. People just go, they pay no monies, there can be earnings. Talk to us about that. And then the Fort James that is next to you.
Well, and there's also the monument, which has gone through away. So what I am saying is that when you go abroad, historical sites or attractions, you pay to go in. Now, if we monetize these things, you could allow locals to pay a lower cost. But that in itself would create a job, because someone there collecting money is a job. Then you would have someone to clean. That in itself is job creation. So we are saying that we are not utilizing our resources to the best of our potential.
Very good. All right. So there's plans for that. Of course, working with Zarisha Hackett, you said, the very energetic, the high personality. Everybody loves her, and that will come into fruition. All right, let's move straight to, we're going to Black Rock now. And that colon B, that is beautiful park. There's so much that can be done there. I don't know if there's any, in your mind, what your intent is to develop that place into a place where people pay to access it. Clearly, it's just a walk-in and all kind of madness is happening in there.
Yes, Brother B. And as Deputy Political Leader Farley said, that would be a great family space. A place where the family could go to picnic, to lime, because they utilize it that way anyway. When you look at it, you see a lot of Trinidadians coming up, cooking, because it's a very eco-friendly space. So yes, definitely there are plans for that kind of events, those kind of events to take place.
Okay, so you're going up against Larry Paul, a veteran politician. You would say he's been in the vineyard for many years. What do you bring differently? What are you offering to the people of Black Rock? Given Kelvin Charles and others who have came out of Black Rock, a strong PNM, that's a PNM stronghold. How do you intend to really make a difference in that constituency?
Well, yes, Brother B. Mr. Paul may be an experienced politician and a good man at that. But when you look at the track record of the People's National Movement in dealing with good people, we see examples of Sheldon Cunningham, Mauricia Osmond, and even the said Mr. Kelvin Charles that you spoke about. He was a chief secretary, and he was disposed in a manner by the said person aspiring to be chief secretary right now that I was left dumbfounded with, even though I do not support the People's National Movement. But as per me, I'm a youth voice. I am someone that has been in and around youth, both Plymouth, Black Rock, some of Mary's Hill, some of Wim. As I told you, I was involved in All Fours, involved in football, so it would be a good battle. Nice, clean.
All right. So you say it's a good battle. But at the end of the day, you know, the issues that confront us are blatant. Today is, well, we were supposed to speak with Youth Vote Matters, and you said you're a young person still. You know,
don't look at the beard.
Well, I'm watching the beard, and you say you're a young person. Between what age group are you?
I'm 39.
Very good, right. So you're still young. All right. And what do the young men tell you, boy? Listen, and they would call you by your first name and address you by your first name. Nah, boy, I find all you really, as a politician, what you could really offer me, boy, that is what they would say to you based on the street language. All you really care about me, boy. Tell me now, is that what you're confronted with? And what have you offered them differently thus far?
Well, the main thing I offer them is a voice. Because currently, you have people that feel unrepresented. They only see the politicians when they need something, basically, a vote. And as someone that is, I'm a ground person. You won't get it much more ground than me. So if there's one thing that I can promise is representation and a voice. We have a lot of things being done that aren't the voice of the community. That's why we have so many underutilized or not being used at all infrastructure in Tobago. That's the idea of a politician and not necessarily what the people of the village or community need. So that is one of my main campaign promises, which is representation, proper representation, giving the people within the community a voice.
Very good. All right, so, and there are those who might say a voice is not enough. We're still not unemployed. We have education. They're saying we are overqualified. They're saying that too many people are employed in the THA. What do we do? I have the skill. I need to invest. Is there an opportunity that you are providing differently that I can believe in so that you can get my vote?
Well, as per our mandate, we have many plans concerning that. Well, this is me personally speaking here. One of the things that one of my peeves are that you're seeing contracts that are distributed in a manner that aren't equitable and aren't fair. If these things were distributed in a more even manner, you could see employment, especially in a community-based manner where community work are being sent out to contractors closer or in and around the community, then you would see a lot more young people from in or around the community being employed, and that is something that we aim to deal with, which is more community-based work.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, we're staying with the youth because, I want us to give some opportunity because we have failed to some extent by providing the necessary catch net. Your era may not been, there may have been a space where young people after post-primary or you got to school up to here, so you had to do a trade or a skill. Let's talk about that. Has that been a consideration of yours? That in the communities, a fella who, and let's not put a label on it that he is so bright, so lay on a trade, kind of thing. But that, if I can use myself as an example, I'm an electrician. That has been how I survived all these years, and I continue to survive by it. However, I've done there are other skills that I possess. But let's talk that in terms of providing for those who need to develop their skill bank as to maybe, let's say, the airport one, Mason and so on. Half of them might come from China because we don't have them here. Take it from there.
Well, again, as per our mandate, we would like to implement a two-tier education system. Traditional academia along with skills training. And we think that it should be at the school level. Because at a very early age, you would identify students that are academically inclined and students that are very skillful with their hands. And when you keep pushing students along a road that they don't really suit, you would tend to have them being very disruptive. Mm-hmm. Even at the age of 12, 13, you could identify that. So we have a gap between that age where you have people being disruptive in class, where they could be learning this skill so that at the age of 18, they could hit the road running. So that is the plan for us, a two-tier system. We also like to utilize our community centers in that area because, again, one of the reasons that young people aren't more willing is that they have to travel to go to certain areas, and some of them don't even have the money to travel to certain areas. So instead of always asking them to go to it, it would be easier for us to bring it to them sometimes.
Okay, very good. All right, so, and of course, so we got Black Rock, Plymouth, the other areas, Monkey and so on. Obviously, that street is really an access to Black Rock and so on. There has been crime in those areas within recent time. Going back to Prospect up there, very lonely, hardly, What are your plans to treat with those areas in bringing some life to it? Because clearly, let's say somebody's walking home in the night and a car drive by, you will look to advantage that person because there's no life in that particular part of that constituency.
And there's no life in that part of the constituency because of the roadways. Now we need to improve the roadways, even along the Hopeton Road. That road is in such a state, it's not even funny. Now, if you improve the road networking, you would have more access, more people using the road, so there would be less, you have a chance for someone to take advantage because it would be busier. People trying to get to, let's say, Bishop's High School, could use the Hopeton Road, passing through Orange Hill, and you arrive on spot. So, but that's a problem across most of the Plymouth Black Rock area. You have the Roselle area where, like this morning, I'm sure those people are walking to get out of there because you cannot drive into that area when when we're in. But
right now, the paving road here, ferry, left, right, and center. Have you made any advance to get maybe Kwesi Devines? Is that a relationship? So as to get that attended, because clearly I know what you're talking about, and it's hardly, that road isn't utilized at all. In fact, it's not good at all.
The people in that area have made numerous advances to secretary come, secretary go. So that would be something that I would have to fix myself when we're successful.
All right, I like your confidence. All right, so we're getting to the point where you're gonna tell us about. All right, so we're gonna take a break, and I see Mr. Tate here. I don't know if we are gonna have him on with you, but I get that information during the break. So let's take the break. When we come back, we continue with Mr. Niall George and much more, lots more. See you then.
Visit Sew Amazing Limited for all your sewing machine needs. We supply, service and repair all types of sewing machines. We provide 2 weeks warranty on all service and repairs. Check us out at Unit 4, D Plaza Dutch Fort Scarborough, Tobago for our specialty single domestic heavy duty machines. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Call us at 309-6350 and 710-4749 or WhatsApp for technical assistance.
In these unsure financial times, protection of your hard-earned financial assets is a priority. We at MI4 Security Cash in Transit Service are sure to grant you peace of mind. Fully insured services. Call us today at 660-7723 or 635-2144. MI4 Security Services Company Limited, keeping Tobago safe.
Who say you had to go to town to get the best in wholesale prices? Check out Goldsboro Minimart today for the best in wholesale and retail prices. We have Coca-Cola, Smalta, Malta, juice, 10 kg powder soap, 5-liter dishwasher liquid, 5-liter fabric softener, detergents, and so much more. And newly added to our shelves, genuine parts for trucks and pickups. Mitsubishi, Kia, Hyundai, Nissan, and Isuzu. Check Goldsboro Minimart, located Goldsboro Main Road, conveniently open Sunday to Friday, 7 a.m. to sunset. Contact us today at 660-4095.
Visit McCorney Home Depot Limited in Richmond in their spanking new and spacious showroom. Get all your hardware needs, building materials, including blocks, steel, cement, and sand, household items, plumbing and electrical supplies, paint, tools, toilet sets, doors, ceiling fans, steel products, and much more. McCorney Home Depot Limited in Richmond. Catering from foundation to finish. Open Sunday to Friday from 8 a.m.
The following is a paid political announcement.
We must defend Watson Solomon Duke every step of the way.
I am not looking for friends. I'm looking for money. I am not looking for friends. I'm looking for money.
We must defend him.
There's some dirty stinking girls. These are my dirty stinking girls.
I find you all an answer in me now. Say we must defend him.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. In another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
We must defend him.
I'm asking all black people. You can see the way they catch monkeys is that they give them something to hold.
We must defend Watson Solomon Duke every step of the way.
I see Duke pelt up candle out here like in a liga burn. I see in a liga burn from a candle Duke pelt.
We must defend him.
Mr. Duke has been in office since 2009, and we have not seen a change at all to his Idi Amin dictatorship.
We must defend him.
As a politician, I have an expectation that is extremely high for myself, for my colleagues.
This looks totally hot.
We must defend Watson Solomon Duke every step of the way.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
I find you all an answer in me now. Say we must defend him.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement. The following is a paid political announcement.
Every employee in Tobago, I call upon you tonight to listen. Because you see, if we do not listen tomorrow morning, if we make the mistake on December 6th, we could be in a position that we will regret for a long period of our life. And as a trade unionist, my brothers and sisters, I know of what I speak. I know and understand the language of labor, my brothers and sisters. And because I do, it is my obligation, it is my responsibility to warn the people, the employees of Tobago, of impending danger. Nobody can control Watson. Everybody knows that. And it was him who said on the platform on many occasions, one, that those people with the red flags, there will be no mercy for them. And if it's one thing we have to take seriously about Watson, is those threats, because we have evidence. We have evidence when you look in the PSA, in the internal election, everybody who would have opposed him, he fired from the PSA. and I know of what I speak, more than those persons who is promising to punish with disdain and treat with scant courtesy, more than those PNM people who may be employed in the various divisions. And let me tell you this, because of how the Tobago House of Assembly is structured, the secretaries are the ones who signs off the final employment contracts, of course in consultation with the administrator. So everyone who is employed in this administration, it can be assumed that they are PNM, because it's a PNM administration that would have hired them. It's a PNM secretary who would have signed off the contract, and they can be understood to be PNM. And I tell you, my brothers and sisters, all contract workers within the Tobago House of Assembly, be you PNM, be you whoever you are, you need to protect your job from December 6th.
On December 6th, take no chance. Protect your future. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
The people, the personalities, the candidates, the results. Keep viewing Tobago Channel 5 as we bring to you all the results and reactions from the party headquarters on election night, December 6, 2021 from 6 p.m. Stay with the election leader, Tobago Channel 5 for THA Elections 2021-2022, The Race for Power, Part 2.
At Trinidad and Tobago ophthalmics, some of our services include cataract operations with normal and premium lenses, treatment for glaucoma, medical and surgical diabetic eye diseases, including bleeding eye trauma as well as retinal problems, age-related macular degeneration and retinal detachment. Please visit us at the Calder Hall Medical Center, Calder Hall, Tobago.
And welcome back. And of course, we continue our conversation with the Plymouth BlackRock candidate for the PDP, Mr. Niall George. And of course, I acknowledge Mr. Tate, who is here. Obviously, he can't be on the set, but let's continue our conversation. Of course, the PDP has on their mandate, not a manifesto, and of course, that's the style of the PDP to be different, of distributing houses and land to Tobago core land. Going up on that same road you mentioned, there's a wonderful park up there. I don't know if you know of it. There's a zip line plan that was they were supposed to execute, not the one that is controversial, up at that hill. You might have an idea where it is, but as you leave the hotel there, you go straight up. Yes, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
All right, so up there, and let's talk about this whole question of land distribution. I'm going to talk about that possible park that is there. But let's talk about the land distribution and what you're confronted with that, given what is existing in core land presently. Let's talk land distribution.
Well, lands were distributed in core land already. They had started a program in 2015. And people had paid their monies to acquire lots. And they weren't able to get their deeds. I spoke about it a week ago, and I spoke about it on a Sunday. The fact that people had to wait 5 years just for a deed to be produced. And in 2 days, the deeds started being distributed. So it's not about just distributing the land, it's about the people getting their lands and their deeds in a timely manner. Because as I said, in 5 years, the cost of building has risen astronomically. So you are now putting people that would have paid their monies 5 years ago in a disadvantaged position. Another thing with distribution of lands or they call it village expansion, is that I believe that a quarter of these lots should be distributed to surrounding areas. And as I am trying to be an area representative, and as I said, my area needs a voice. And if you're distributing lands in this area, we believe that a certain portion of the lands should be distributed to persons, qualified of course, not just for distribution's sake in the area. Over the last 4 years, there weren't any lots distributed. Yet you are hearing people saying, after we proposed to distribute lots, saying that they would distribute 2,000 lots. So in 4 years, you haven't distributed one. But you're saying now that you're going to distribute 2,000, and I believe that to be disingenuous.
All right. In that very Colan area, there has been distributing land for agriculture. And I don't know what it's like in terms of the production. I don't know. I haven't been, somebody invited me, I went there, I saw some barrier some months ago, didn't go further. But let's talk about that whole estate going back there, up to that same part that I'm talking about. In terms of agriculture in that area, we are hearing about it, but we are not seeing the production or we're not seeing the yield. How you intend to treat that differently, if at all?
Well, one of the main problems with farmers in that area is access to water. Would you believe it? So close to the Colan River. So you are a lot of the lots not being used because, I mean, you can't farm without water. And the other thing about it is the lots were given in such a small manner that in trying to acquire assistance from the government, you haven't reached the required land size to access loans and stuff from the ADB. So that is something that we have to treat it. We have to deal with giving the requisite size of lands and not the amount of farmers. And we all would understand where that is coming from, because if you give 20 people, then you might have 20 votes, as opposed to giving 3 or 4 quality people that could start something, a proper business where they then could employ the 20 people once they access the funds from the ADB and so forth.
All right. So, Mr. George, you're now relaxed, and we could go deeper into the conversation. Our time doesn't permit us to do that. So what we're going to do is to allow you now to say why, or tell us why we should vote for Niall George for Plymouth Blackrock.
Plymouth, Blackrock, and that is just the seat by name. Wim, Mary's Hill, all the areas. Niall George is someone that will be in and amongst you. You're going to get someone that will represent you at all times. All times. I will be your voice. I will be your median between the community and the exec council at all times. Representation is something that is high on my priority.
Very good. All right, well, thank you and all the best to you. And next time, I will learn to play all fours. You'll teach me, right? Because I don't know. I still don't know.
You still don't know?
But I know the cry, and I like to hear the varying groups how they cry and so on. But anyway, we'll learn more about it. All right, so Mr. T, good to see you, my brother. And of course, I remember he saved me from some fellas on the Panorama some years ago as a security. You might remember that. And tried to beat some fellas because they thief me things and so on. And Mr. Tate, right, I'd love to have you this morning, but anyway. All right, so we go for the break. When we come back, lots more. See you then.
At Trinidad and Tobago ophthalmics, some of our services include cataract operations with normal and premium lenses, treatment for glaucoma, medical and surgical diabetic eye diseases, including bleeding eye trauma as well as retinal problems, age-related macular degeneration and retinal detachment. Please visit us at the Calder Hall Medical Center, Calder Hall, Tobago.
When you need electronics, find what you want quickly at Ted Electronics. We have tons of brand name items in smartphones, tablets, LCD and smart TVs, headphones and speakers. For the best in electronics, check Ted. Amazing service and the lowest prices guaranteed. Located upstairs Moosehead Plaza, Bethany Road, Tobago. Ted Electronics, your ideal choice for electronics.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad. We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own prime minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself. Yes, yes.
announcement. The following is a paid political announcement.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Watson Duke is breaking the law, and had he been in another country, maybe in jail.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. In another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
And send me back to the polls if I end up with people on my team who want to thief.
A High Court ordered audit of the finances of the Public Services Association has revealed overspending to the tunes of millions of dollars and other practices that are not in keeping with the constitution of the PSA.
You see the THA election coming back up, so we know what's in you going and thief with money again.
I want the listenership to understand something. Only 2 persons sign checks in the PSA. One is the primary signatory of the president of the organization, which is Watson Duke.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We have a competition, so we say you can take a tongue, you can use a tongue, it looks totally hot. Take a look at that. Real hot by opposed to him.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me. We have a bunch of Tobagonians who are sellouts, who are house slaves. If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Well, more workers have been sent home, but it's coming from the quarter which fights against terminations, dismissals, and the like.
Today, the PSA's executive would have made a decision to send home 20 of its office staff. We will be running a very tight ship, a very hard ship.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We want independence from Trinidad. We must have our own prime minister in Tobago. We want our chief secretary's stupidness. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. I hate them.
And so let's make some noise and thank our political leader.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
Greetings in the name of Jesus Christ, our soon and coming King. I am Minister Cassandra Powder, here to encourage you to dare to be different. Think the unthinkable, for we serve a God that has no limits, no boundaries. It's time to elevate.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Tobagonians. Owning a parcel of land is almost every Tobagonian's dream. They are saying they will provide 2,000 lots for Tobagonians, for you. But let's go back to basics and do the maths. In 20 years, they developed 116 lots in Coreland and 44 lots in Bell Garden, a total of 160 lots. Lots they cannot even give out. 20 years, 160 lots, that's 8 lots per year. Yes, 8 lots. At this rate, it will take them 250 years to fulfill this promise. Yes, 10 generations. Scarborough, Mount Grace, leave the empty promises. Leave games and old talk behind. Vote Trevor Williamson James for better performance. Vote PDP for action, for a future where your dreams are fulfilled now.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
The people, the personalities, the candidates, the results. Keep viewing Tobago Channel 5 as we bring to you all the results and reactions from the party headquarters on election night, December 6, 2021 from 6 p.m. Stay with the election leader, Tobago Channel 5 for THA Elections 2021-2022, The Race for Power, Part 2.
Good morning, Tobago. Thank you for joining us today, Wednesday, 1st December 2021, for the Rise and Shine Morning News. Former Tobago Council of the People's National Movement Assemblyman and active member of the party, Shamari Hector, is accusing the party as well as members of the Progressive Democratic Patriots of using witchcraft in the Tobago House of Assembly's December 6 election. In a Facebook Live yesterday, he said the Holy Spirit spoke to him in his bathroom.
Yes, the opposition have been delving into the diabolical, delving into the unknown. But let me give you the firm assurance, there are political agencies within the People's National Movement who hold very high portfolios that doing the same too. I'm telling you.
Hector, who fought and won the Bethel Mount Irvin electoral district for the PNM in 2017, was rejected by the party as a candidate for the December 6 elections. In the Facebook post, he offered a word of prayer for the party and the island.
And I offer on behalf of the People's National Movement and on behalf of the people of Tobago a repentant prayer. God, you said when you were considering Sodom and Gomorrah, you said even if I were to find 5 righteous men, they will be saved. I want to believe today, God, that Tobago have more than 5 righteous men.
Channel 5 News reached out to the PDP and PNM for comment on Hector's claims. However, up to news time, no response was received. The Ministry of Health is actively considering issuing booster shots to fully vaccinated persons. In a press release yesterday, the ministry indicated that they have strategically amassed a stock of 690,625 vaccines, some arriving as recent as last 3 weeks. This in an effort to be proactive and to prepare for the unforeseen nature of COVID-19 and the emergence of variants. Further information on the launch and rollout of the COVID-19 booster program will be made available as the dates are formalized. The Buku Broadwalk, which began in 2015, was commissioned yesterday. At the simple ceremony to mark its completion, the Tobago House of Assembly's Chief Administrator Bernadette Solomon Karoma spoke of the project's challenges.
This project started with the villagers in 2015, and by July 2018, a contract would have been awarded to a contractor to start and complete this project. And this project grinded to a halt due to a number of challenges, funding, and also other issues with the contractor.
Chief Secretary and Area Representative Ansel Dennis also identified some of the challenges.
I remember conducting a site visit at the location, and what I witnessed was really a travesty, in that while we were spending taxpayers' money, we were not necessarily getting value and quality for that money. And action was taken.
The actual cost of the project was not revealed at the commissioning ceremony. For today's weather forecast, early morning showers will give way to mostly fair and windy conditions. There's also a low chance that these showers may become heavy or thundery in some areas. A mostly fair night with a light breeze is expected. Today's temperatures should reach a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius and fall to 24 degrees Celsius. Thank you for joining us for the Rise and Shine News. I am Afia Giles Baines. Join us at 6:30 for the full Channel 5 newscast. Enjoy your day.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad.
We don't want Trinidad judicial system, we don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad.
Constitution is ours. It's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself.
Yes, yes.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement. The following is a paid political announcement.
All the monies raised in Tobago now under the current arrangement that Tobago exists is about $200 million. Remember that, right? But as part of the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, $200 million comes towards you from you. The salaries alone paid to the people of Tobago in the Tobago House of Assembly is $700 million. Goods and services is another $580 million. Subsidies and transfers is another $650 million. And of course you have development programs, $260 million. And URP, which is make work, help you out because you can't find a job and so on. That's another $25 million. When you add up all of that, as what you get as a result of being an integral part of the nation, as compared to your 200 million, you see right away that you are better off being an integral part of the treasury of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's not all you know. Various government ministries spend money to service Tobago. That's another $788 million. The operation of the sea bridge is another $600 million. And of course, the cost of those two ferries, $1.2 billion. We're spending $1 billion building you a modern terminal building at the airport to be able to handle international traffic. All the monies raised in Tobago now under the current arrangement that Tobago exists is about $200 million. Remember that, right? So, I just mentioned those numbers so you can understand these people who are talking about secession and independence. What exactly are they offering you?
Take no chance. Protect your future. On December 6th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
So we are waiting our link with the Chief Secretary, Mr. Ansel Dennis. Of course, he is the candidate for Buku Mount Pleasant, and of course for the PNM, that is. All right, so we'll have that conversation when he's ready. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, and of course, there's so much happening. Obviously, as I said, today is World AIDS Day, people. Remember, it's now, well, no, it's a chronic ailment. It can be treated, and it has been, people are surviving with this disease. And of course, you've just got to be mindful that it's sexually transmitted. So still be very mindful that you can contract this disease, and if you're, not careful, All right, so yesterday we had a massive protest in Trinidad. I call it mass because the numbers that I saw there, I was like, wow. I said, but you know what I'm thinking, right? That as much as you're angry, because what I'm hearing, right, from the one and two people who commentate, and we're hearing Rowley must go, right? And I'm listening to that, all right, so you feel that way and so on, and so on. But in my mind, I am saying, aren't we in a pandemic, and this disease is airborne, and we are hearing the numbers for this month, well, November, we have had the highest cases reported every day, as far as we're concerned. And added to that, we have had the highest cases of death per day. And I am saying, right, let's say that there's a justifiable reason to be there, right? The first thing should be your concern is there going to be a crowd? And if there's a crowd, should I be there? And how protected I would be there. Now, we're going to hear a spike as a result of that. As a result of that. So I would hope that the people who are planning for Carnival event and understand Trinidad culture and Trinidad when it comes to Carnival. Now, and I'm listening to that and the events that they want to have. Now, listen, I don't know if you watched the video yesterday, what happened in the Queen's Park over in the Savannah Day yesterday, with the amount of people came and police trying to control them and had to grab a few people and lock them up to show example to the others. But isn't there a charge and a figure for breaking the public health ordinance or the conduct that you're supposed to be how much miles, and if you break it, there's a charge? And there's a fine? So are these people charged to make an example? Because clearly, and you heard from, I was reliably informed about the overcrowding in Scarborough here or in Signal Hill. And then you saw on Tobago notes where they're constructing a space in the hospital of Fort George to accommodate victims of COVID. And then somebody said, brother, eventually everybody's going to get COVID. Because that's the target of whatever the conspiracy is. And I'm not listening to that really. But at the end of the day, you can't ignore it. Because nobody is safe until everybody is safe. That makes sense? So I am listening and I'm looking on and I'm saying, wow, I wonder who could really get me. Listen, when I go home there, I just hardly want to come out because it's not fear. It's just that you're conscious of what this disease poses. Every day. My wife is a florist. Good morning, Marilyn. My wife is a florist, right? And during this time of COVID is the most wreath that I've seen one person had to make. Every minute I have to go in the bush to cut a special thing she does make the wreath with. And I'm saying, while I'm cutting the bush and thing, I'm saying, I wonder who family mourning their loss. And when you listen, it's people who are dying from COVID as a result of some people just had, and then there are those who say, oh God, COVID, I'm sorry, I didn't take the vaccine. I can't wait to go and get the vaccine. Eventually, you may have to pay for that, Now, at the end of the day, right? So the argument is people are building a case on that better be every day they're moving the goalposts. You heard me on that yesterday. Now, as I said, this is a moving target. You ever watch a movie when a fella trying to blow up some car with a gun and so on, and he go between some branch and he can't shoot yet, and so on? This disease is a moving target. You can't hit it because science has not yet come up with the complete formula. Meanwhile, they are trying to provide what will keep you safe for the time being. That's the reality. That is the reality. It's not perfect because, listen, the things that do mutate in Africa, and let me hope or let me blame Africa for that. Let me understand where this evil comes from and deal with that. Because you know how they like to, remember all the disease, the Ebola, the AIDS, and all of them was originally, they come out of some part of Africa and they found in science and consider foolishness. Hello, the disease originated in Wuhan, China, that we come out. I'll find the place if I want to punish people and deal with that. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. We are with a moving target, the thing mutating and so on. Remember H1N1? When I was on radio, we was dealing with that. And there was a nurse who came in and she said, I better be the disease will mutate and so on and so on. Well, apparently that wasn't enough. So we reached to a place where this one here can resist vaccination. Imagine that. So what do we do? What does science do? How quick can they work to get us immune? And that is the challenge. So meanwhile, they're trying to work it out. Hey, we have no knowledge about what them fellas are doing in them labs and so on. And we are trying to find out. But we have to trust it because that's the way we are. And I gave you the example. Today is World AIDS Day. In 84, when I was living in Canada, I heard about AIDS just came out as a disease. And they said it was a homosexual disease and so on. Eventually it got to everybody. And so we have to understand. Science say, you know what it is? This ain't going to take life forever. We go come up with a medication and so on to keep people alive. And people are alive today as a result of science. So given that we are in that position where we have to trust the science, we have not a choice. Whether you like it or not, them fellas in them white suit and thing inside of them place, they will lock up and take. You have to trust them fellas and them people inside of here. Because it's them we're relying on for our safety. This is warfare, you know. This ain't no gun and fella with khaki and thing and a fella salute and a fella fly out with a plane and so on. Hey, this is chemical warfare. And those fellas inside of the labs, those are the ones who have the knowledge and know what to do. We have to trust them. We have no choice in this matter. So at the end of the day, meanwhile, avoid crowd. You see that foolishness happening in Spain there yesterday. And then when we hear the spike and we hear how much people bawling and so on, and no space in the hospital, and why would you put yourself out there to protest and to say what? At the end of the day, all right, as I said, if you want to, there's that, listen, right now, Tobago have an opportunity to vote out of the voting we want. And that's the democratic process. And that's how we have to live by. We have no other way and no other means. If it is, and when you listen to the tone about those who are so angry against Rowley, and it's Rowley, this is not to do with Rowley, you know, Papa. Although they are not to do with Kamala, let me put that in there just in case you think that I have a side that I'm favoring. Hey, this had nothing to do with no politician. This evil came as a result of somebody have some idea. I am not going into that. And that is our enemy, earlier. That is our enemy. All your anger and your frustration. You think, you know, I tell you, sometimes I drive by the sea and think, what is here? I want to bathe earlier. I want to go in there and so on. But look what that thing has cost us. It's, and look the measure. And you know, I heard Tim Goatby sing, right? Is it Tim Goatby? Who is Tim? Yeah. The former Minister of Education. He was. But anyway, his son plan has some fella, right? Some double stand. Anyway, yeah, him. And he had COVID. And he made a statement and said, we need to support the government in so on and so on. The other day, he held a press conference and saying them same people who put measures in place to ensure that he recovered. He turned wrong him out now because he's political. He's strong now and he feels he has and now attacking the medical professionals who are trying their best. Somebody sent me concrete evidence that the Scarborough Signal Hill Hospital is overwhelmed. They cannot treat the people up there. The nurses are not coming out to work. They're finding reasons not to come because they too can be compromised. Well, you understand what's going on in this place? So I'm trying to understand. Even though you don't want to take the vaccine, that's your business. That is your business. But do not, at the end of the day, you who have sense, you want to put yourself in a place where you could go home and carry home the thing and everybody infected. You ever been, you know, and the reality of this thing is right. Now, when you get sick, you're no visitor to the hospital. Nobody come in and see you, and you go see how much people come to visit you, and so on. Hey, when you get that sudden, nobody can come and see you. You lock up in a little cubicle, your family brings Sunday, have a sit down by the door, and you peep through and see them and wonder in the nose, is they going to make it? And I tell she was so hard, she should have taken the vaccine, you know. That is what we're dealing with. And then you go home and you mourn and you plan your funeral because, hey, you can't even go and see the body. Is that, are we understanding this evil? Do we really care about our own? That's what it boils down to, you know. You know, when I pray, if you hear me, I don't matter. I don't pray for all in my yard there and so all my brother and my cousin and all of them will live there. I say, oh God, Father, cover them, oh God, please no. Help them from understanding this evil. Cover me from this evil. Because that's what it is. It's warfare. The intent is to take life. We are walking in the valley of the shadow of death. That's what it is. You just read that psalm there and you feel it's just my soul. But you have to be covered. You have to cover yourself because works without faith is dead. That's how the quotation is. Francis, tell me, use the pastor. At the end of the day, we have a responsibility. And until we understand that, and you do avoid going, when you go home, they say, hey, my stop over there. I don't go nowhere. I just try to avoid it. Because this is a rise, and you don't know who is next of getting this vaccine, this COVID. That's how dangerous it is. So I'm listening yesterday. So they hate Rowley and they want him to go and so on, and that Tobago and they go back and mine sheep in Tobago. And when Shadow was going through trials because they didn't understand that Shadow is Trinidad, yeah, they called Shadow all kind of name and chase him back here. And until when he go dead, they find out, hey, he was born in Trinidad, let me love him. Let me understand what's going on there. All the thing is just, let me understand it. That issue. How many months ago when they find these arms and ammunition, and then we heard a term or an expression from a particular leader that spoke to 1990 and claiming 1990 as something good. Dr. Rowley had to be careful down there. You remember the attack on the Chief Justice recently, and what was that intended to do? We are dealing with so many. There's a main demon that is stalking humanity, wanting to take life, and we're finding reasons to create more harm and danger to ourselves. Anyway, that said, I said enough on that. All right, so we are waiting until I get the cue. But sometimes you want to know, why does get these times to talk these things, or why is it that this has to be said? It has to be said because we're missing the mark here. I said, and if you want to go back to history, there are few Caribs and Arawaks, or Caribs in this Caribbean here. They were the people who occupied these territories, You know what wiped them out? You know what made them extinct? You heard the Prime Minister went to Glasgow there and said, let's choose life over extinction. You know how these people eventually died out? Disease, malaria, and other diseases. So if you're not careful, if you're not mindful, let's hope to God that you survive it, just like all who are intended to survive this. All right, let's go for the break. When we come back, we should be speaking with Mr. Ansel Dennis. See you after the break.
Visit Sew Amazing Limited for all your sewing machine needs. We supply, service and repair all types of sewing machines. We provide 2 weeks warranty on all service and repairs. Check us out at Unit 4, D Plaza Dutch Fort Scarborough, Tobago for our specialty Singer domestic heavy duty machines. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Call us at 309-6350 and 710-4749 or WhatsApp for technical assistance.
When you need electronics, find what you want quickly at Ted Electronics. We have tons of brand name items in smartphones, tablets, LCD and smart TVs, headphones and speakers. For the best in electronics, check Ted. Amazing service and the lowest prices guaranteed. Located upstairs Moosehead Plaza, Bethany Road, Tobago. Ted Electronics, your ideal choice for electronics.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad.
We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad.
Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself.
Yes, yes.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement. The following is a paid political announcement.
Every employee in Tobago, I call upon you tonight to listen. To listen. Because you see, if we do not listen tomorrow morning, if we make the mistake on December 6th, we could be in a position that we will regret for a long period of our life. And as a trade unionist, my brothers and sisters, I know of what I speak. I know and understand the language of labor, my brothers and sisters. And because I do, it is my obligation, it is my responsibility to warn the people, the employees of Tobago, of impending danger. Nobody can control what's new. Everybody knows that. And it was him who said on the platform on many occasions, one, that those people with the red flags, there will be no mercy for them. And if it's one thing we have to take seriously about Watson, is those threats, because we have evidence. We have evidence when you look in the PSA, in the internal election, everybody who would have opposed him, he fired from the PSA. And I know of what I speak. More than those persons who he's promising to punish with disdain and treat with scant courtesy. More than those PNM people who may be employed in the various divisions. And let me tell you this, because of how the Tobago House of Assembly is structured, the secretaries are the ones who signs off the final employment contracts, of course in consultation with the administrator. So everyone who is employed in this administration, it can be assumed that they are PNM, because it's a PNM administration that would have hired them. It's a PNM secretary who would have signed off the contract, and they can be understood to be PNM. And I tell you, my brothers and sisters, all contract workers within the Tobago House of Assembly, be you PNM, be you whoever you are, you need to protect your job from December 6th.
On December 6th, take no chance. Protect your future. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
In these unsure financial times, protection of your hard-earned financial assets is a priority. We at MI4 Security Cash and Transit Service are sure to grant you peace of mind. Fully insured services. Call us today at 660-7723 or 635-2144. MI4 Security Services Company Limited, keeping Tobago safe.
Be viewing Tobago Channel 5 for the live broadcast of the Tobago Methodist Circuit this Sunday and every Sunday at 9 a.m. as they bring God into our homes.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Think about the poor health care and jam the X in. Think about the poor educational system your children have to face with. Jam the X. When you think every time you can't go down in a pothole, jam the X. Every time you think that you are poor and you're needy and the food card flying elsewhere because you are perceived to be of a certain other color, certain other political loyalty, jam it. Put it right up inside.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
The people, the personalities, the candidates, the results. Keep viewing Tobago Channel 5 as we bring to you all the results and reactions from the party headquarters on election night, December 6, 2021 from 6 p.m. Stay with the election leader, Tobago Channel 5 for THA Elections 2021-2022. The Race for Power, Part 2.
So we would have, the time for Mr. Ansel Dennis would have passed, so he didn't show up, and of course, for whatever reason, we would not have that conversation with him this morning. All right, and of course, we are waiting to speak with the nurse, Fanta Pierre Sandy, the AIDS awareness, today's World AIDS Day, as I said, and the theme is end inequalities and end AIDS and the pandemic, so it's a whole drive. All right, so yesterday at Buku, the boardwalk was commissioned. It's open, it's free for the public, and so I gotta go down there and Mako, right? But anyway, it's long overdue, and as we heard from the administrator that it has been it was suspended for a while and so on. Eventually it's over. Well, it's up and run. It's up and available for the public use and so on. But at the end of the day, we know what Buku provides for this nation of Trinidad and Tobago, and we know of the Buku passport, as was we had Natasha Chance Rusford here talking about the Buku passport, and you would know how long that was in the making. In the days when we were on radio together, she spoke about that, and it came to fruition. And so there's so much in Buku, and we hope that we are able, after we get over this pandemic, that we could go back to life as we knew it. And some are saying that we'll never get back to that, but it'll be goat race and all them things will be a thing of the past, only a memory. But I am an optimist, and I believe that, we are going to win this battle, and all we have to do, as I said, is to survive it. And you heard me just now there about how races are extinct as a result of diseases. I don't know if you saw the movie with Denzel, when he had to get the Bible, and the name of the movie is coming. But anyhow, that was when folks were extinct. There were a few people living and surviving because of some disease and so on. And at the end of the day, Eli, that's the movie. And when you look at these, and of course, you understand that sometimes when a story is told, is to tell you what possibly can happen. And this pandemic, and when you go back to the Barack Obama, when he spoke about if there is a pandemic, what to do, and the other presidents who would have taken up that seat would have cautioned us about upcoming pandemic to some extent, and if it happens, what we need to do, and so on. It was on social media there, and so on. But anyway, at the end of the day, let's hear from you. Your calls are welcome. Of course, election day is on December the 6th. Is only 6 days. Today is the 1st. Well, it's roughly 5 days away, and of course, that's Monday coming. And we have heard from a number of the candidates. Interestingly, somebody called me about Mr. Lawrence Hislop yesterday, and they like him. They said, Brother B, where he was all the time. And hear how cool and calm and collective and thing, and all. They don't understand when you are accustomed speaking to the public. It's not, it's a walk in the park. But some of the ideas that he spoke about, interestingly, and of course, he is going up against Ian Whitey Pollard, who is the incumbent presently, and he's of the PDP. And Whitey also does have some good ideas as well. And at the end of the day, I've said before, and I continue to say, that Tobago is too small to be separated and divided, and I am not here to, and cannot appreciate anyone who is about division and so on. At the end of the day, we know what campaigning gives and so on. Demonize one side, make them look the worst in the eyes of the percentile voters, so as we go get the vote and we go win and we go back in, or whoever wins and so on. But after all that is done, we have to live here. We have to coexist, and we have to live with each other. So at the end of the day, so when you listen to all those ideas, and when you're coming from Raya, or you're heading into Mason Hall, right by the mango tree, by the corner there, by we call it Ridalda Corner. For those of you who know Mason or don't know Mason Hall, so when you hit that corner there, at that mango tree there and so on, you see a massive poster there with Whitey, and of course his vision is there in the poster. I haven't seen that anywhere else, I don't think, but you see the fire station, the fire station and the gas station that his vision is all about, what he wants to see. All right, so the lines are open, 635-1005, 635-1412. So, and I would hope that in the districts, after the election, we come to a place where we work together to build this place, right? Because all hands need to be on deck. Let's take a call. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, Brother B.
All right, not hearing, and of course,
Hello.
635-1005, 635-1412. And your calls are welcome. We can hear you, take your calls. And as I said, today is World AIDS Day. We have an election on the 6th, which is Monday. Yes. And of course, you go out and exercise your franchise for the young people.
Please hang up and
all
try
right,
your
we'll
call.
try that again. And call her your numbers, or the numbers to call are 635-1005, 635-1412. And go out there and show your frustration and your anger with this, right? Go in there, put your X by whichever sign you want to vote for, and at the end of the night, we will give you the, we do that every election, and of course our team here will do their part. I will sit at home and take in the information and so on. And so at the end of the day, go out, and of course, it is your right to do so. Yeah, let's take a call. Good morning and welcome.
Brother B, good morning to you.
Good morning, caller. I'm not hearing.
Listenership.
I'm not hearing downstairs, or not hearing. All right, so.
Morning.
Yes, morning and welcome.
Morning to you, Brother B, our viewer and listenership.
Yes.
Brother B, I want to compliment Assemblyman Ian Pollard as to how I'm really impressed with the integrity of his campaign and how he treats with his opponent, Lawrence Hislop. You know, it is important because I guess Whitey realized that after taking office, that Lawrence is a meaningful asset, not only to Mason Hall, but to Tobago. and I hope that he will engage Lawrence and teach Lawrence the rudiments of assemblymanism. Nevertheless, Brother B.
Yeah, but I like your idea. Listen, are we mature enough to do that? I mean, are we there yet?
And Brother B, when we look at the PDP, its initiative and its philosophy, we know the PDP has the ability to create the template for such type of leadership and governance in Tobago.
All right, thank you for that. And
There is hope.
Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, it requires political maturity, right? To put aside your differences and work together for the betterment. There is so much that is needed in the north side. And that gas station, oh God, when you look at these fellas coming from Castara, Paladivia, to full or to get a gas, some of them go to Charlotte, to Charlottesville and to Roxborough. We need one on the north side. Let's take a call. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, morning, Brother B.
Morning.
Morning.
Yes?
Yes, I just want to make a little point here. No, I've heard an argument where it was said that the present election is being held because of the 6-6 deadlock. And there's much talk about the election. And yes, the election is as a result of the 6-6 deadlock. But the holdover executive is not because of the 6-6 deadlock. Because they were offered by the PDP options, what the PDP position was. The PDP said, take Chief Secretary and give us finance. Take finance, give us Chief Secretary. And the leader of the PDP's business with the THA, with the other side, Farley Chavez Augustine, he put forward that, and had they reached a point, and the point they were supposed to reach, no 6 was bigger than the other 6. And what was supposed to happen? They had us to reach a midpoint called reasoning, because the leader of the PNM, Mrs. Tracy Davidson Celestine, referred to a way in which they appoint secretaries. Now, she may have been referring to some law or regulation that govern how secretaries are appointed. But she could not then have referred to that because she could not have used the regulation or law on Farley, on the PDP. The PDP could not have used it on her. So what on them? So what should have happened? Both should have reached a midway point of reasoning. But they have shown that they were outside the reaches of reasoning. And it's like 12 mangoes for 12 people. 6 persons of the 12 took the 12 mangoes and they ate all for themselves. Look at what's going on. This last minute spending and this last minute rushing to build a wall every day and to a patrol. You couldn't do it in 4 years. You're trying to do it in 2 years.
Excellent.
In 2 days.
Yeah, but up to now, I haven't gotten, thank you, sir. Up to now, I asked Tracy about where the funding is coming from, and there wasn't a real answer, She said it's coming from the THA. We know that projects, and of course we want the roads and so on paved, but in terms of accountability, when the question was asked, she just said blanket statement that it came from the assembly. But, and let me point to a road that needs paving earlier, and I hope all they do it, well, we have 6 days, right? I don't know, and then there are those who say, after election, better be, are we not getting road paved again, So that Mount St. George, Masonal Link Road, for God's sake, just pave it now. Yeah? All right, let's take a call. Good morning, welcome. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Brother B.
Morning.
Brother B, were there a code of conduct signed by all these political parties for this election?
Yeah, they were signed.
What I'm hearing from some of these political parties, Brother B, it's shameful. It's really shameful. And the other questions I want to ask, with the opening of the boardwalk yesterday at Boko, did Mr. Dennis give us the cost for that boardwalk?
Yeah. Good question. I think the figure, thank you for that. And yeah, that's a good question. If he was here, that is one of the questions I was going to ask him, right? But I think it's 1.7 million, I think thereabout. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I saw in the newspaper. But anyway, let's take a call. Good morning, welcome.
But
Bobby, good morning, sir.
Morning.
What concerned me, what I saw with my own two eyes, that people are tearing down the PNM banners in Canaan. But I mean, it's an election.
Yeah.
Why, I don't understand why they have to do that, if they're getting paid to do that. Leave the people put up their banners. You tearing it down. I find that it's unfair to the PNM. Why they're doing the PNM that? I don't understand it. If they're getting paid.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. All right, and all the campaign clean and thing, man. All the try to pick on and so on and thing, and don't engage in tearing banner and defacing people thing and so on. You think it's penny to put up them thing there? Anyway, so at the end of the day, we need a clean campaign going into Monday. It's a few more days. Late come on over, man. All right, let's go for the break. When we come back, lots more. See you then.
Be viewing Tobago Channel 5 for the live broadcast of the Tobago Methodist Circuit this Sunday and every Sunday at 9 a.m. as they bring God into our homes.
Greetings in the name of Jesus Christ, our soon and coming King. I am Minister Cassandra Powder, here to encourage you to dare to be different. Think the unthinkable, for we serve a God that has no limits, no boundaries. It's time to elevate.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I place in the center of this meeting tonight the proposed Scarborough Waterfront Development Project, and you can see it on the screen. We have already put aside $60 million for the start of this project. Already we have secured over $37 million through the IADB investment. And so we have been developing the plans, and we have been finalizing the rollout of this plan that will see for the first time a new and improved Scarborough. What does it include? It includes a new boardwalk. It includes a parkade, an upgrade of the Scarborough Esplanade. There is going to be a marketplace. There is going to be a food court. And when I talk about food court, I'm talking about restaurants, I'm talking about bars, I'm talking about cafes, and I'm talking about entertainment spaces. The new Scarborough will be digital. Remember, we are talking about technology and taking Tobago to a new height. And so we will have information booths, and those booths will talk about the history and cultural norms and ways of life of our people. And so the project will be solar powered. Drainage and infrastructural work will be in place. And most importantly, there is a start date, which is January 2022, immediately after the Christmas season has ended. And with that project, we will be able to create more jobs, over 200 jobs. With that project, we will be able to encourage entrepreneurship, because we are talking about restaurants, we are talking about bars. With that project, we can go to them on the international market to say that we are moving Tobago in the right direction. And with the airports completed, with the hotels coming in, we are expecting to see more tourists come into the island as well. And with more tourists, there will be more flights. So the flights that I talk about from the Scandinavian countries and from North America, they will come because Tobago's product is being developed. And this is what our people would want to see.
And so this 18-month first phase project will see a Scarborough like we have never seen it before.
Take no chance. Protect your future. On December 6th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
All right, welcome back. And the phone is off the hook. It's very annoying. Yeah, let's welcome yes, thank you very much. All right, let's welcome Mr. Dennis, Mr. Ansel Dennis, Chief Secretary, and of course, Area Representative, or candidate rather, for Bukumong Pleasant. Good morning, and what excuse for your tardiness this morning, sir? Unacceptable, eh? I'm being blunt.
Good morning, Brother B.
Yes.
First, my apologies for being late.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you're going to write 100 lines? You will write 100 lines?
It's been a difficult period. I'm tired, I'm spent, but I'm trying to keep up.
All right, let's go straight to it. Yesterday, the Buku Boardwalk was commissioned. Do you have the figures? How much it costs us taxpayers for that to be completed?
Approximately $7 million, Brother B.
Okay.
The project, the consultations and stuff for that project began in 2015. Actual work started in 2018. And I am very happy that we have been finally able to deliver that project to the people of Buku and Tobago by extension. It's a project to be proud of.
Very good. All right, there's some other figures we'll get to, but I just want to go to a post that I saw on Facebook that you have neglected a particular area in your constituency, which is Mount Pleasant. And when you look at the video, there's a yard where people are, living. The conditions of living is questionable, more or less. And why? Are you familiar with the area, and why have you neglected it, if that's the case?
Of course, but I'm not going to comment on anybody's specific circumstances. I'm not going to respond to some of what I consider to be the mischief that is being made. Obviously, the Tobago House of Assembly has made available to all Tobagonians several options for persons to improve their living circumstances, home improvement grants, self-help grants, etc. And I have ensured that as far as possible, I interact with everybody in my electoral district. And of course, my office is also available for persons to come there, get support, get the necessary forms, to request that kind of assistance. In addition to that, there are also a number of NGOs who engage in that kind of activity to support persons, vulnerable persons living in those kinds of situations. I have assisted those individuals and other individuals in many ways, but of course there are reasons why some persons may not be able to access the support. Sometimes people don't want to fill out the form. Sometimes they may not have all the required documentation and all of that. But as I said, I continue to assist everybody as far as is possible. And in every electoral district, you will find individuals who, for some reason, may not have been able to access the support as yet. But I continue to be available, and I will continue to try my best to deliver to the people of Tobago.
All right, well, and once you're on land and housing and so on, let's deal with that. The intent of your administration presently is intended, well, have distributed lands to farmers recently. Are these, well, I don't want to say are these people qualified to do agriculture. However, there are those who may get a piece of land because somebody knows somebody. Let's bring the equitable distribution of those farmlands and to clear whether these were political gifts to ensure votes on election day. Are you dispelling that, or does that have any truth? And let's talk about that distribution of land.
Of course, it's ridiculous because in most electoral districts you have 3,000 to 4,000 voters. What kind of impact will 35 individuals receiving land have on any election? So those are ridiculous claims. I committed to the people of Tobago many months ago that we were going to engage in a farmland development program. And as you are aware, and as most of Tobago and maybe the country is aware, I started off my tenure as Chief Secretary paying attention to farmers and visiting those farmers. I've been to almost every farm on the island of Tobago, from Charlottesville to Crown Point, and therefore it allowed me to have a first-hand look of what was happening at the ground, a first-hand view of exactly the circumstances on the ground where agriculture is concerned, and therefore, when you look at the farmers who were given this opportunity, and I challenge you to look at the list and look at the track record of each of those individuals, you will recognize that these are persons who have been on the ground, engaged in agriculture activity, who have serious potential and capacity to go further and even expand what they are doing. And these are the persons that were given the opportunity in the first instance. This is just one phase of the project. So go look at the list and you will see for yourself that all these persons are serious individuals working hard in the agriculture sector at this point in time. I saw them for myself.
All right, let's go to another announcement by yourself. Of course, let me deal with this one first. You did say there's no major projects to be undertaken by the THA. However, we are seeing mass road paving. And Mr. Dennis, we are all happy because we want election every day. Every day, hold on, let me just finish the point. And because that's the only way it seems as though we get things done here in Tobago. This road paving, give us a figure as to what it's costing taxpayers to have these road paving. What the road paving, thank God. However, there is a cost to it, and what is it costing taxpayers? I did ask Tracy Davidson, the leader of the PDP, of the PNM Council, but I'm asking you, is there a figure, and where is the money coming from?
Right, so I'm happy you raised that. Because the reality in the Tobago space is that roads need to be paved. And let me address that first statement. You talk about major projects. How is road paving, the maintenance of roads and infrastructure in this place a major project? I said that this administration will continue to ensure that the wheels of governance turn in Tobago. And one of those things have to do with the maintenance of the roads, the maintenance of the infrastructure. If roads full of potholes and roads need to be paved, I do not see any administration, even in a deadlock situation, ignoring that. If people yards flooding and rain falling and you're having landslides which threaten people's homes and public infrastructure, I don't see any administration, even in a deadlock situation, being able to ignore that. So road paving should not be considered as a project. It is maintenance, right? And the reality is, if we were to pave all the roads that require paving in Tobago, I am sure it will cost well over $500 million.
And how much is it costing now, Mr. Dennis? How much is it costing now for this exercise?
This latest exercise, based on the evaluations of the roads we are trying to pave during this particular period, from January to now, based on the approvals given of the Executive Council, it is going to cost close to $200 million. I can't remember the exact figure, but obviously we will not be able to pave all those roads because there have been issues with getting bitumen to the island. So all this talk about us paving during elections, I want to remind the people of Tobago that there was road paving. Some roads were paved way before the election. And I want to say to the people of Tobago as well, because the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment was very transparent when they communicated with the people of Tobago several months ago, saying to the people of Tobago, look, we understand your roads want to be paved. We understand that there are several potholes and we have already done the assessments with the intention to pave those roads. But there has been serious challenges at Lake Asphalt that prevented us from being able to procure bitumen and get it to the island to treat with the road paving exercise.
But I'm talking the concrete, Mr. Dennis, is it concrete paving? Concrete paving, not bitumen, not that. Yeah.
Just know, we have been struggling for months to get bitumen to this island. And those roads you see that concrete is being done, it is simply because of that bitumen situation. Right? In some cases, the decision was made by the technocrats that in cases where it might be suitable, that concrete can be used in lieu of the bitumen.
Mr. Dennis,
But
there's
obviously, preference is always bitumen.
All right, Mr. Dennis, there's so much to talk about, and I really have to punish you for your tardiness, and I hope that we may not be able to get you before, again, because we're not done, but however, time is out because of the commitments that we are committed to. So we want to thank you for being with us this morning, and well, all the best to you. And we didn't get to speak about your campaign for your constituency and all of that. So all the best to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Very good. All right. Yeah, but there's so much to go into. But anyway, all right. So at this point in time, we want to thank you for viewing Rise and Shine. We'll do this again tomorrow. And of course, a packed program as usual, and except that people don't make it and so on. But we'll do our part here. By the way, anyway, embrace the urgency of today. For tomorrow's a mystery. We're going to be saying so long.